Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Marissa and I do reviews for handbags, tote bags, and work bags. This is a bag from Oleada, a brand I've been seeing a lot on social media, and they designed workwear bags specifically. So I ordered a few different styles just to see them in person, see what I could fit, and then gauge which one met my needs the best. But I'll do a review for you just so that you can see what it looks like, first of all, in terms of the features, what can fit inside, and then I'll just share some observations I had that might help you make a decision about whether or not this bag is right for you. So stay tuned and we'll get right into it. The Waiva bag that I purchased is actually the ash gray color and it has gold hardware. The leather is a pebble texture design and it feels nice and stiff, but not like cardboard. It's like a nice structured leather material that will definitely keep its shape and feels very durable. The pebble texture is something that will also help you hide any scratches and damage. So I do like that that's the material they chose to go with because it certainly makes things look newer for longer. They have iconic waves here that are found on a number of their bags and their designs. And they do have a twist lock mechanism here where you would do a turn lock to open and close the bag. But I'll show you the interior in just a second. The bag has a top handle here, and on the back there's a luggage strap that you can use to put over your luggage handle if you are a traveling corporate girly. The long strap you have here is convertible, so you can wear this as a shoulder bag or crossbody, or you can actually pull on the straps here to turn it into a backpack. So if you pull these all the way through, you now have two straps that you can turn this into that backpack configuration pretty quickly with. Other things to note are that this longer strap, it does have like a wider part of it to make it more comfortable. The straps down here are thinner and they are slightly adjustable here at the ends. You can remove this strap. You would have to like unbuckle it fully down here and then slide it through the top. But I'll show you a way that I've found to be a little bit easier than taking it out fully if you wanted to wear it just as a handbag. The closure is a flap closure. It's stitched right across the top here. It does have a small gap on either side, but it is meant to be like flat towards the top. So you'll see that the bottom is like a square base, and then it comes to a point to a flap closure mechanism up here. So the flap opens up, and first you have one really large pocket here, and I find that this is a pretty generous size for a quick access pocket. And then on the interior, you have first a laptop compartment, which is great. It has a snap button closure here. And then on the other side, you have a zip pocket. The zip pocket is going to go all the way across the entire length of the bag, but it also has these pockets in front that are a little bit smaller. So you've got like two squarish ones, and then you have one in the middle that's more of like a pen compartment. And the entire interior is lined with like a vegan suede, I believe. And it is a lighter color, which I always prefer in my bags, especially the large ones. It just makes things so much easier to find. So that's the bag at a glance, and now I'll show you what fits inside. So I've brought out a few different things to show you what fits inside the Waiva bag. But first, what I really like to do is show you the width of the laptop compartment, because sometimes laptops will advertise that they can fit up to like 13-inch, 15, whatever, but not all laptop dimensions are created equal. So even though you might have like a 13-inch laptop, maybe it's like a little bit wider, or I don't know. It seems to make a difference for some of the bags I've tried. And it looks like edge to edge, the laptop compartment width of the pocket is about 13 inches. Now for the actual width of the compartment itself, I'm gonna measure the base, because if you can see the shape of the bag, it's wider at the top than it is at the bottom. So this is gonna be your limiting factor in terms of like the most wide thing that you can fit inside. So I'm just gonna measure the base, and that is at about 13 inches as well. So anything wider than that probably won't fit in very comfortably, but if you've got a laptop that's maybe a little bit bigger than like the advertised dimensions that it accommodates, it might be able to squeeze in. Now I'm gonna start putting things in, and then you can also try and gauge whether or not it would be the right capacity for you. So I'll start with my laptop, of course. I'll put in this notebook, and I think I'll put it in the laptop compartment as well. I have my Kindle, and this is the paper white size, so like a 6.7 inch, I believe. I've also got this really clunky cube thing where I put my laptop charger. And so far it's doing a really good job in terms of capacity. And these are like my headphones, but I'm going to use this just to represent like a lunchbox. So if you bring lunch with you, let's just pretend this would be it. So I'm going to stick that in as well. And then I have these like little knickknacks. So let's call this a cosmetic case and my sunglasses. It's going to go in. Lipstick, AirPods. Those are going to go in as well. And that is pretty much its full capacity. I did have a water bottle, but I don't think that's going to fit in. Even if I had a smaller water bottle, I don't think it would go. So let me show you what it looks like right now. So you can see that like the top of the bag is like pretty much full. There's not much wiggle room left. I would say there's a little bit more space down by the bottom where it's wider, but I think that is pretty much as far as it'll go. And now that I'm trying to close it, you can see I'm struggling a little bit too. Some things I'm noticing about the Waiva bag in the different like ways that you can wear it. So right now, this is it being worn as a shoulder bag, and I'm too short, but it's coming pretty low for me. The strap is comfortable because it has like this wide bit on top, but I wouldn't say it's staying on my shoulder terribly well. It's also like really long, and so it's hitting, like my waist is up here and it's like all the way down here, which is a little too long for my preference. And so if I was to wear it crossbody, that makes it a little bit better, but it's still too big of a bag to be worn crossbody comfortably because it's just going to be bouncing against you like this, and it's a very boxy thing, right? And also remember though, when it's full, it's going to be really heavy and clunky to be worn crossbody like this. When I'm wearing the backpack style, what I like is that the straps don't fall off my shoulder because they come to like a point in the middle of the bag here. So they stay on really well, and I feel like the size of this backpack now fits nicely because it's sitting above where my like waist is. So it fits comfortably here, and it doesn't like hit against my bottom. I like where it falls in its backpack shape. I don't think the frame of it is too big. I don't think it's too wide. That was something I was a little worried about because at least online, the Waiva in the 15-inch size looked pretty big, but it's actually, you know, all right. So for my likes and dislikes, the things I find to be really good about the Waiva are, first of all, the fact that the leather is really nice and structured. I like that it's not a stiff Saffiano, but it's still thicker and more maybe like firm than like the floppy, soft grained leather, which is like no good for a work bag because you need it to like stand up on its own. So this bag has enough structure to do that. I do like that it has this turn lock mechanism. It's a little bit more elegant and easier to use than either a snap button or one of those like magnetic style closures. This is a lot more simple and easy and fast to open and close your bag, and it's a lot more refined than a zipper. So I love that mechanism. I like that there's this quick access pocket in the front and that it's really big. So you can see where my fingers are like there and all the way there. So it's like this actual full space that you get. The inside has a great amount of organization. I find that to be the perfect amount of organization. I don't want more than that. The more pockets that they add, sometimes you just end up taking away that capacity for yourself because you just like add things that like cram up the side. And so I like this minimal amount. And I also like that the laptop compartment has a snap button closure so that it keeps it flat and against the bag so that your laptop isn't like bouncing around inside your bag. And of course, you know me, I always like having a lighter interior because you can see to the bottom of your bag right away. I can find what I need really quickly. And so I'm always an advocate for having light colored bag linings. So that's the inside. I like that there's reinforcement on the corners. I think it helps keep the bag's shape over time. And even though this is a structured bag, you still want some sort of reinforcement, especially on corners, and especially when the bags are made of leather. So I do appreciate that. And I think this will help it keep it's straight and standing up for you as well. Now for the things that maybe weren't so great. What I didn't like is that because the top is a flap closure, every time you open it and you need to get inside, you have to bend it back, right? But look what happens to the top. You see how there's like a crease forming when you start to fold the top back a little bit? I think that crease is gonna get worse over time, and you're gonna have a really deep like wrinkle running across the top of the bag, which is really visible. And because this bag is like so simple and clean, there's not much that you can do to like detract from how visible it is. The strap here it's not easily adjustable in terms of length, because when I was wearing it as a shoulder bag, it's at way too low. And there's not much room you have to adjust it, because you have like a few like loops here, but there's not that many, like there's not much room to go up and down either way to shorten and lengthen it. So the adjustability is actually quite limited. So my final verdict was to not keep this bag personally, only because my preferences were to have a bag that's easier to configure in all those different ways. Like if you're gonna make a configurable bag, I want it to be easier and more comfortable in each of its forms. I also wanted a little bit more capacity. I do think that this bag is worth checking out, because if you're looking for something that's professional looking, sleek, and really intelligently designed for travel, like this one is, like having that luggage strap. There's even a hidden pocket back here, which I don't think I mentioned earlier, but there is one here. And it's like a little bit smaller, actually a lot smaller than the one in the front, but it's there. So there's a lot of things here that make it really friendly for the traveling, you know, businesswoman man. And I think if you had other bags in your collection that were already super practical, like workhorse bags, then this would be a beautiful addition to your closet, especially for something more refined that looks different and still has a lot of functionality to it. So unfortunately, this one will be going back for me. I did try a few other Oleada bags I ordered, and there were ones that I preferred a little bit more to this. So if you go to my channel, I will have a review on the Marina soft bucket, which I'm a really big fan of. So check out that one if you're looking for alternatives that align to some of the pain points that I was highlighting in this video. But just make sure that you keep the original tags attached like I did. And yeah, check them out. If you want to save a few dollars, I do have a discount code in the description of this video below. It would really help me out if you used it, but absolutely no pressure either way. I'm excited for you guys to give this a try. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.